All right, what's up, guys? So today I'm gonna be doing a Q&A. I'm gonna try and get through as many questions as I can, as fast as I can, but diligently answering the questions. So let's start. Question 1, tips for more symmetrical muscle growth. So for this, I always say do a lot of dumbbell work and do work that requires each side, for example, like the chest, each pec to work individually, and don't do movements as much that kind of allow one side to pick up the slack for the other. So like barbell. So barbell chest press, in my opinion, for bodybuilding specifically, not powerlifting, etc., is not the best in terms of growing round symmetrical muscles. You can't change your bellies, but muscles. And you're better off doing like dumbbell chest press, in my opinion, because it kind of forces each side to do the work separately. 2, how do you style your hair? Okay, so I have very curly hair naturally. I don't actually go to the barbers. I cut my own hair. So all I do is it's 3 on the sides. So it's a taper. It's 3 up here. It's a high undercut. So 3 and then 2, and then on the top I just will pretty much trim it up whenever I think it's getting too long, and that's all I do. That's how I do my hair. 3, around what time on T did your beard start really filling in? I'm not quite sure because truthfully I used to shave every single day, so I never really allowed my facial hair to grow. The minute I allowed it to start growing is when I really, like, my beard started coming in, which was earlier this year. So I would say about 2.5 to almost 3 years on testosterone is when I really started to develop my beard. But again, I think I probably could have grown a beard much earlier. I just never allowed my body to. 4, how old are you? I'm 18. 5, posing video in the future? Of course. 6, motivation or inspiration for going to the gym. So for me, it's 2 things, 2 major components. 1, obviously for myself, I want to build a legacy for myself, and it's just training and bodybuilding has changed my life for the better in so many aspects. I want to do nothing more than continue in the sport. And then the second aspect, which is just as important, is for me, I think it would be a very large statement even though I really don't think it's a big deal, if I, as a trans man, was able to make it to Olympia and compete and do really well next to every other guy, I think it's a huge statement, and it would be a really good thing for the community. And I just want to show people that no matter what, don't let all these stupid labels limit you, because you are limitless if you allow yourself to be. 7, when bulking, were you ever worried about gaining more fat than muscle? Just started my bulk. So honestly, no. The way I saw it was whatever it took to put on a lot of muscle, I would do it, because I think it's really important for us to get over the abs. If you want to put on some serious size, you're going to lose your abs. And I'm not saying to get spilling over like stomach and stuff. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you're not going to be shredded year round. You have to let go and just trust the process of having to put weight on. And also, you have to understand, I ate clean my whole bulk. I had 1 cheat meal a week, just as if I was doing like a cut or something. So the eating stayed the same. It's just the quantity it was of calories increased. 8, being trans, have you ever received hate in the gym? I want to join a bodybuilding gym, but I'm scared. Actually, no. The gym, or at least the gym I go to, is, if not the most happy and supportive source of energy I have in my life. Going to Bev's for me is like my happy place. It's so encouraging and motivating to go there. And even when I went to my old gym that's a little more local to me, I never had anyone come up to me and say any negative things. If anything, I just had people say, hey, you're looking good. We see you putting on size. No one even knew I was trans, because it was just I was there to train. I was a human being in a gym going there to train. It has nothing to do with you being transgender. Everyone is there for the same purpose and same goal. So no, 100% go to the gym, work on yourself, and people will respect you for that. 9, from what you know, how does prescribed T dosage affect performance, and what is the ideal dosage of T? So I'm going to answer the second part first. There is no ideal dosage of testosterone for testosterone therapy for transgenders, or even if you're just a male that's going through hormone replacement therapy. everyone's base testosterone is different. For me, it's always been high. I've always had very high levels of testosterone. So it's so individual. I can't answer that question truthfully. And the other part of the question, does T dosage affect performance? I mean, testosterone is a steroid technically. Excuse me. So yes, of course. The higher T dosage, the better you're gonna perform in the gym. Now you have to also understand is if you overdo the testosterone levels, it can turn into estrogen. So you have to be very careful about that. And that's why, for example, bodybuilders that take steroids and they do very high levels of testosterone, they'll implement other things to counteract it as like an estrogen. I don't know if I want to say estrogen blocker, but like estrogen controller. So you want to be very careful about messing with testosterone because a lot of people forget that it can convert into estrogen if you do too much. 10. How does someone become as thick as you? Sleep, because everyone forgets that part. I'm going to say it first. Sleep, like 8 hours, sleep, be in a caloric surplus, and when I say train, like people know, I train. I mean, tears come out of my eyes sometimes, and that is not an exaggeration. If you want something and you want to grow fast, it's the hard work that is going to get you there. There is nothing that can replace hard work and training in the gym. 11. How to build back thickness. Back thickness is all rows, deadlifts, rack pulls. It's a lot of pulling movements, but like horizontal pulling movements, because vertical pulling movements will hit more back width. So if any movements for the back that are like kind of horizontal pulls, those usually work back thickness. 12. My Zodiac sign. I get this all the time. I don't know why. So I'm just gonna cover all my bases because I get this all the time. My sun sign, like the typical zodiac that people talk about, is I'm a cusp. I'm a Sagittarius Capricorn cusp. I was born December 21st, 3:13 p.m. So I'm like right at the cusp. So Sag and Cap. My moon is Scorpio, which, yeah. And my rising is Gemini. I'm not going to go into the rest, but those are the three main ones. Workout schedule pre-T. Literally the same. 14. How to track macros, micros with a slight eating disorder and not become obsessive. I actually had someone DM me this, and I think this is really important to talk about. So it's very easy to count macros and then get really obsessive over it. And if you already have a predisposition to eating disorders, it's very, very risky. So in my personal opinion, if you know that you have an eating disorder or borderline have like eating issues, create a meal plan. Get your macros and create a meal plan. And then from there, let's say you're on a diet, right? Instead of being like, okay, I'm going to subtract this many grams of carbs from each meal and then you become super obsessive over it, just go to your meal plan and subtract quantities of food. That would make, like, I don't, like, a lot of coaches do this with their athletes, so it's just mentally you don't see those numbers 24/7. Now if you're competing, that's different. You're gonna have to, in my opinion, you should know your macros at all time, even if you do have a meal plan. But if you're just doing this to diet, just make a meal plan so you know the macros in the beginning, and then from there take the meal plan and be like, okay, I'm gonna take half a cup of rice out from these meals, and then you will continue to lose weight without obsessing over that. I think that's your best bet. 14. Do you still get body dysphoria? Does it ever go away? So pretty much body dysphoria, for anyone who doesn't know, it's like just being very disgusted and uncomfortable with your body. It's a very large sign of being transgender, and a lot of transgenders do go through it. To answer the question, honestly, not the same as it used to be. When I was like 15, 16, it was full-blown dysphoria, like, you know, typical crippling. It would like put me in these like states of mind that I just wasn't productive. It was pretty bad, honestly. But now it's almost like I see it from like a bodybuilder's perspective, in the sense that like if I look in the mirror, I'm like, damn, I need to like bring up my calves, or oh, I really wish my shoulders capped out more. Like it's so different. I don't see it like the crippling transgender dysphoria. If anything, it's just like a critical view of myself as a bodybuilder. So that's what training has done for me. It's really shifted my whole perspective on everything about myself. 15. What is your whole training regimen? I want to train the same way. Right now, I train 6 days a week. Sunday is my rest day. I train each muscle group twice a week. So chest, shoulders, back, arms, legs, everything is trained twice a week. I only do like 3-4 movements per group for the day, but because I hit them twice, I have a higher frequency, if that makes sense. 16. Do you still play the drums? So for anyone that doesn't know, I used to do music a lot before I did bodybuilding and stuff like this. I can play 6 instruments. Drums was one of the main ones. I haven't played the drums in a while. Honestly, I do miss it. I was thinking, I just, it's been so long. Honestly, I still have my guitars in my room and I practice, but I have sold my drum kits because they just took so much room. What do you think about the fake natty problem in the fitness industry? Okay, so I think it's the stupidest thing ever. I just, the way I see it is, it's everyone. It's not just the people that are lying's fault, but I think it's also as a general public's fault. And I don't want to be like that, but I feel like it's getting better. It's getting way better now. But there's such a stigma on social media against steroids. So like if you see an athlete and he's like, wow, he looks so good. Oh my god, he competes, whatever. But then you find out he does like steroids. You know, you have people that are like, you know what, screw him. He doesn't work hard. He's cheating. So that kind of negative view will persuade people to lie because they're going to lose business and they're going to lose clients. Meanwhile, they could be very, like, for example, if they do coaching, right? They could be a good coach, but people will literally not use them just because they use steroids, even though they could be extremely intelligent and know what they're doing. Now, on the flip side, I think it's totally wrong as an influencer to lie about it. If you don't want to admit to steroid use, in my opinion, just don't say anything at all. Don't ever even bring it up. Just don't say you use steroids, but also don't say that you don't use steroids. You know what I'm saying? So because then you're giving people the false concept that, oh, I can look like that and that's achievable naturally. Being honest is one of my biggest values, truthfully, in life. So I am an extremely honest person. I would never lie about anything I do on my social media, especially because I know you guys trust me so much. 18. How did it feel living in the wrong gender before you transitioned? I don't want to get into this too much because it'll take forever because it's so hard to explain, but it just very uncomfortable, like very third party, no emotional attachment to you as an individual or your life. Just very, like, you felt so uncomfortable when people acknowledged your presence. You're like, no, stop. It's just like it's a very hard topic to truthfully like express through words. Any recollections of life in Romania as a kid? So I was born in Romania, for anyone that doesn't know, in a small town called Satu Mare. I have some recollections of memories because I was pretty young. I remember when I was a little kid, I used to take my tricycle. I used to take my tricycle and I would my grandparents had like this iron fence at their house in the backyard and in the front yard, and I would used to just literally pedal and bike as fast and hard as I could at that age into the fence repeatedly for like an hour. So for an hour, all you hear is like a fence banging so violently because I just thought it was hilarious and fun to just like fling myself into this fence on a bike. So I did that. I got attacked by my grandparents' chicken because I was supposed to give them bird food, but I instead picked up rocks and started throwing at them, and they didn't appreciate that. I remember that. There's a couple more, but it's going to take too long. Do you eat differently on rest days? No. The only thing that changes is I slightly decrease my carbs. Slightly. It's not by much. Fats and protein stay the same. You want to eat the same every single day, especially on prep. I don't change anything. I'm planning to eat the exact same thing until show day. Nothing's going to change because I don't want to find out last minute that, that doesn't really work with my body, you know? So, do you know your IQ? I actually do know my IQ. I went to the Acronym Institute when I was a little younger it's like a transgender research organization. I have it documented, so I'll show you guys. What's that bracelet you always wear? So they're talking about this bracelet. It's my blue bracelet that I always have on. It's a turquoise bracelet. Turquoise is my birthstone and it's also my favorite color. I don't want to get too much into that because I wanted to try and keep this video as short as possible, but it's a turquoise bracelet. I'm trans. I'm taking T about 4 months and I still have hips. Does it take a lot of time to lose it? You can, it's very individual. It really depends. Everyone's body reacts differently to testosterone. You can honestly make it go quicker. That like you can make the hips go away quicker if you implement a good diet and training routine. Should I make tattoos before I start building muscle? So should someone have tattoos and then like start building muscle. I don't see why not. If you're like, if you're worried about like, large stretch marks, maybe wait, or like you're scared that the tattoos will like stretch a lot, maybe wait until you build a solid foundation of muscle. But I know plenty of bodybuilders that have tattoos and then they get huge and their tattoos still look fine. Where did you get your top surgery done? Looking for a good doctor near Long Island. I had my surgery done with Dr. Bartlett in Boston. Amazing, super professional, and kind team. Leg workout recommendations, especially for calves. For calves, I do a lot of tempo stuff because I feel the calves are so strong and they always are under pressure. So for doing like heavy weight for like 8, I mean, it's good if you like do stretch. For the calves, you want to stretch the muscle because that's what it's not used to and uncomfortable. Hold it for 5 seconds in the most like stretched position and then explode up and continue with the reps. You should hit calves like 2 to 3 times a week. How do you know if I'm doing the right form at the gym? Okay, so pretty much the best way, in my opinion, for a beginner to get used to it is, for example, let's say you're doing a shoulder press. You literally want to get in the position, and then from there, squeeze your arms, like your shoulders, squeeze your shoulders, tense them, and then do the movement. You should definitely feel it. Watch YouTube videos on it. There's lots of videos on form. Just want to say, keep doing what you do. You're awesome. Thank you. Meal prep tips. Plan. Keep it simple. Seriously, I literally just do jasmine rice, chicken breast, turkey breast, macna oil, olive oil, peanut butter, oats, eggs. Like, make it as simple as possible for yourself to be able to consistently do it. Set a specific day that you're gonna cook. For me, that's Sunday. It's my rest day. I cook pretty much for the whole week. You wanna be organized and plan ahead. All right, guys. So that's it for the Q&A. I hope I kept it short and sweet, and I'll see you in the next one.